Hey guys, RTT back here for that video. Guys, I made a video about 2 weeks ago about Surface Zero 2 and what to expect, all that kind of good stuff. And in all honesty, I was before I bought the brand new Surface Duo. And I kind of trashed it a little bit in that video. And I gotta say, I gotta make an update video so I can go ahead and tell you guys everything, personally that I love about the Surface Duo and all what I'm looking forward to with Surface Duo 2. Because based on speculation and rumors, we have a lot of information. But I'm going to tell you right now what I want to see after using it for 4 straight days. When I say 4 straight days, guys, I'm not exaggerating. I did not think this was going to be my daily, SIM or my daily phone. Ended up being my daily phone. I put my SIM card in here and now I'm using it every single day. Take it to work with me, take it home, take it everywhere. That's definitely, I just absolutely love this device. Now, I did put the bumper on this, which I did do a video on, and what everyone always said to me put the bumper on is, oh, then you can't use it in phone mode because of the fact that it won't register correctly. Well, it does register correctly, actually, and you're able to use it in phone mode and regular mode, which is absolutely awesome. For some reason, right now, the second screen won't turn on. That is an issue, and I have really trashed in my main video. Here we go. Actually did work eventually. I did trash in my video because I did say that it's a little buggy, and to be honest, it kind of still really is somewhat buggy, but not to a point that I thought it was when I first went ahead and talked about it with the Surface Zero 2. I said like, oh, this is extremely buggy, and it has gotten a crap ton better since the release it actually came out. Now let's talk about the software, just starting off right away, because we do know that there will be a better processor in the Surface Duo 2. We know that will be upgraded, and it will also have more gigabytes of RAM. Now, using this device for 4 straight days, have I used to a point where I want more RAM? And the honest truth is yes. In all honesty, if you have a lot of applications running at one time, using dual screens, you're using a lot of RAM, and obviously 6 gigabytes is nice, but at the same time though, if you use too much, your phone will slow down and end up crashing. And I've only actually had it crash like 2 or 3 times, not too many, so I will definitely say, to a lot of people telling me like, oh, this phone crashes left and right. I can't say I agree with that because I have not had that happen to me personally. I've had it crash 3 times, but that was because of it being in my call holster in my car, and the power button was actually held down because it's a really bad layout for the power button. I will say that. Nonetheless, though, let's go ahead and talk about some specs that we know about the Surface Zero 2. First off, it's coming out in October. Another date I got incorrect in my last video is it is coming out in October, very early October. We are expecting the price tag of being exactly the same as, the Surface Zero 1 when it came out, so probably around $1,100 to $1,399, I believe. So very, very expensive. It should go ahead and come in with a better battery life, which I'm honestly not too caring about. I know it's surprisingly enough, some people say that they do not get much battery out of this device. I use this device all day long, and I might use 55%. I don't use much of it at all. I definitely, when it comes to battery life, I definitely use it though. I'm always on it, and I have not ran out of battery one time with this device. So I guess if you are watching like straight movies every single second for the whole entire day, yeah, you might only get 6-7 hours out of it. But as long as you're not watching movies and you're just maybe chilling and texting people back, responding to things, on Twitter or something like that, you're gonna get a whole entire day's worth of it. So with a better battery life in the Surface Duo 2, I obviously always love the idea because dual screens, but I'm not too concerned about that. Next thing we have is 5G, something that I have on my iPhone that I did not have on this phone. Personally speaking, I do get, where I live, I do get 5G connection somewhat. Not every single area where I live has 5G, but some areas do. I personally never gotten into the whole 5G world. I know people love it. People are excited about 5G. Like, oh my God, 5G is the next big thing. I personally have 10 gigabytes of 10 gigabytes internet, so I've never worried about 5G or thought 5G was a big deal for me. Again, it might be a big deal for you, but it's not a big deal for me. So it wasn't really too big when I heard that it's going to come to Surface Zero 2. I mean, for those who are going to go ahead and be excited about it, then it's a really good thing. But for the average person, I don't think it's too big of a deal. But hey, I mean, if you're downloading stuff on data, you're going to be able to download stuff a lot faster with 5G. I will say one thing I know will never come to this type of phone, and that's going to be waterproofing. Now, I personally do work as a dishwasher, so I cannot bring this phone into the dish room, which you might be like, oh yeah, you shouldn't bring a phone into anyway. Well, you can bring this one. Can bring the iPhone 12 Pro Max. You can't bring this phone though. This phone, I have not been caught in a rainstorm with it, but I would really be scared if I was caught in a rainstorm with this phone, just because again, it's not waterproof. It's very easily could get destroyed by water, so you gotta kind of baby it to a certain degree, and to a certain degree I have been when it comes to, like, you know, rain and water. But in general though, I've been kind of putting this bad boy through the ringer other than that, so I haven't had any issues personally. But again, like I said, that is something that we're probably not going to see with the Surface Zero 2 is an IP rating, but it's definitely something that would be somewhat welcome if we could definitely see something like that. So yeah, with that in mind, guys, as I said, you know, better battery, better processor, more gigabytes of RAM, probably not IP rating, most likely 5G connectivity. What else is there? Yup, you guessed it, the camera. The camera on this device is lackluster. I made a video and I had the actual footage recording from this device, and it was decent. It was actually pretty decent recording wise, like video wise, but when it came to strictly taking pictures, this camera is not the greatest. Now, there are different third-party applications you can use to kind of get around that, and I will say that it's definitely something that, you know, is, you know, very plausible to do, is just go ahead and use a third-party application. It doesn't make it too much better, but it makes it a little bit better. But the stock version of this camera on this device, first off, it is 12 megapixel camera on this device, but it's just the software for that camera is so slow. Like, you take a picture, 4 seconds later, the picture was taken. It's definitely not as fast as other devices. And, you know, as you guys know, if you guys watch the channel, I love my DSLRs. I have a mirrorless Sony a7 III. I have a Canon SL, I want to say SL2, not SL2. I can't think of my Canon camera's name. It's a DSLR. But anyway, though, I do definitely love cameras. I mean, I have 2 lenses back there that are $2,000 a piece. I have another lens back there that's like $1,500, and all my lenses combined buy like $10,000. I love cameras. So when it comes down to a phone, I definitely do care somewhat about a phone having a good camera, not as much as, you know, someone who literally just uses their phone as a camera. But for someone who does, you know, do other photography outside with their phone, it's definitely still important. Now, with the brand new with the brand new Surface Zero 2, we should see an actual outside the camera right here. So I made, actually, my thumbnail last video actually had it, but there should be a little cutout right here that should have an actual camera. That is very welcomed. I will definitely say that, because right now, in order to take a picture, you gotta fold it like this, take a picture, or flip it around, take a picture like that. It would be very nice if you could go ahead and do this, bam, and then take a picture. No issue at all. Now, one thing I will say is, if they do go ahead and implement a camera lens on the outside, when you do close it, it's going to be interesting to see how they go ahead and make it flush. Because right here, you can see with the bumper case, there is not technically flush. It's a little bit of a bump. And I guess that would be kind of how the camera lens would be. Unless they somehow make it flush with like a design, make this a little bit thicker, I think the camera lens would be a little bit of a bump like that. I don't think that's a big deal by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, obviously, it's better to have a camera with the bump than no camera at all. But at the same time, I'm interested to see how people actually end up liking that. And if that is definitely a big concern for people, is that exact thing. We talked about this in another video, but I'll say it again. There's a lot of speculation that the brand new Surface Duo 2 will run Windows 11, and that is simply not going to be the case. It is going to go ahead and run Android 11, and the reason why is because, yes, Windows 11 was recently actually put on a couple of different Android phones, but that's because of the ARM archetype they have on the phones that can actually support and run Windows 11. The Surface Duo 2 cannot. Now, depending on what, Microsoft does, is it possible they create that, ARM to be able to use Windows 11? It is obviously, anything is possible. Most likely though, with Surface Duo 2, they're gonna kind of stick to the same guns when it comes to different the actual software inside, hardware inside they use. So again, most likely not, but again, like I said, anything is possible, so keep that in mind. We might see in October Windows 11 running on the Surface Duo 2, which I personally would love to see. I think it would add a different element to Surface. It would make a lot of people more excited about it, just because, again, I did say in my video Android a little buggy, and then someone said like, oh yeah, you're an Apple fanboy, that's why. It's not that I'm an Apple fanboy, because I loved Android on the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra. It's just on this phone I don't like Android. That's the only time I didn't like Android. Nonetheless, though, I will say that, Windows 11 would be really interesting and cool to see added to that. With that in mind, there's nothing else I really personally would want to see added to this phone. Like I said before, I absolutely love this phone. It's literally became my favorite phone overnight pretty much, and these last 4 days has been a treasure using this phone. But overall, I will say, if you are thinking about picking up the Surface Duo 2, I wouldn't say this is completely against the possibility. Like, people ask, like, why would you pick this up right now, right? Well, whenever a phone comes out, for the most part, most companies do this. They always offer a trade-in incentive. Like, you obviously buy the brand new phone, you can trade in your old phone and get the brand new phone. I don't know if Microsoft's going to do that, and I kind of have speculations going back and forth whether, right now, obviously, this is like $600 to $700. Will Microsoft offer like a $500 incentive to trade this in and get the brand new, Surface Duo 2? I don't know. And if that's the case, I think when that does come out, Surface Duo 2, I would think Microsoft would probably make this more expensive. Maybe put this price tag back up to like, $900. Surface Duo 2 comes out, make that like, $1,300, $1,500 maybe. And then this would be a trade-in incentive to get people to trade this phone in to get the Surface Duo 2. And then obviously paying $700 is a lot better than, paying $900 for the trade-in value. So I don't know. Again, like I said, we have to wait and see what Microsoft ends up doing. But I also wanted to buy, the reason why I bought this device personally was because I wanted to go and try it out. I wanted to see how I like it before I bought the Surface Duo 2, and kind of got my thoughts and opinions on that one, which I said before, it's going to be interesting to see how scalpers actually get interacted with Surface Duo 2. Like, are we going to actually be able to buy it, or are people just going to scalp it and destroy the market for it? Anyway, guys, if you did enjoy this video, hit the like comment down below. See you guys next one. Peace out.